What? Someone's getting my data. Who is this? Who are you? Huh? I knew it. It's you. Stealing all my data.
So in this day and age, data is a pretty big deal. If we go back to 1990, okay, so the internet, it existed. We didn't have cell phones that were constantly connected to the internet. You couldn't just Google why butterflies are blue or green or orange. It just was not a big deal in comparison to what data is today. Data is everything today. We can find out what's happening in Europe right now just with the flick of a finger straight from your phone. You don't even have to be at home. You don't have to wait for a dial-up connection. You can just find out what's going on anytime, anywhere. So, with the changing landscape and considering what has happened to data in its current state, what is data now? I mean, what is data in the first place? Why is it so important to us?
Today, data is obviously more than just something that we stare at on a screen these days. It's a part of our personalities, it's a part of our relationships, it's a part of our lives. It's how we self-promote, keep in touch with our loved ones. It's how we make money. It's how we connect to the world. Today, data is our connection to the world, and sometimes people pretty much only have even friendships and relationships through data. I talk about how important data is, but without something called context, data can actually be almost entirely useless. If someone says someone stole some data, who cares? If a technology professional says, hey, something's going on this IP address, okay, nice. Or, hey, what's this blob? But we suddenly apply some context to everything, and we can say someone stole credit card information. All of a sudden we're panicking, or it's the IP address to the credit card system. That's very important. And oh, hey, it's a sheep. All right, so suddenly something goes from being a matter of vague, fuzzy, all right, why should I care, to turning into something meaningful, relevant, relatable, or at least identifiable at the least.
So, thinking about context a little further, let's think about if someone really is trying to maliciously get some of our information, or something caused a compliance failure, or we're worried about Facebook with the whole situation about does Zuckerberg have all of your data? Because that's been a pretty hot topic lately, and people are now talking about data privacy on Facebook and your pictures, your cat pictures. Well, think about the context of what are people trying to get when they're looking for your data. When you get those phishing emails and someone's saying, hey, give me your social security number, or hey, give me your credit card number. They're not asking for, hey, send me those cat pics. Give me those cat pics. Or I don't know. People don't want pictures of your dog. People don't want pictures of, well, let's stay out of dark waters. But nonetheless, depending on what you have posted, like don't post your address on certain things. Some people will call that doxing, and then that's a big deal. Don't post somebody else's address on something. But when we're talking about business and context and start to apply that to our reporting and actually being more productive members at our business, it's important to remember that no context means no results. So if you're talking to your boss and you're simply trying to get a raise, why should you get a raise? Maybe you should build a little report to represent your level of productivity. And, I could spend a whole nother video on how to apply context to getting raises, to having more successful reporting. Go down the list of how data can change your life. And maybe some of you have already figured out some of these secrets, how to make your company more secure with context. But context alone, which is why I'm talking about context right now on my second video, it's such a big deal that even though it might seem obvious that, oh, yeah, we need some context, but really, do you really understand how to really derive context so tightly that even a 5-year-old knows what a report's trying to say? And that's when things start to get a lot more complicated, and that's not so easy to do. Even someone like me who's been working with data for over 10 years, even I struggle with perfect context. And most importantly, don't let this guy get your data, because he'll ruin everything and wreck your life.
If you enjoyed this video, feel free to drop a like or subscribe.